Welcome to the Get Published podcast, sponsored by Brodie Consulting Group. To get more information about our coaching, publishing, executive ghostwriting, and podcast production services, go to getpublishedpodcast.com. Hello, I am Paul Brodie, and thank you for joining us for another episode of the Get Published podcast, where we help authors get published with a proven system that works. Today, we're being joined by Hank Frazee, author of Referral Upgrade. Hank, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Paul.
Are you ready to get started?
Yes, I am.
All right, question number one. What is the one piece of advice that you would give to a first-time author who is currently writing their book?
Well, I write nonfiction books that are essentially how-to books. So I'm always thinking in terms of how can the reader apply what I am saying immediately. I don't like books that are sort of ethereal. I like something that you read and you say, I know exactly what you're saying, and I can go out and do exactly that and get that result.
And what do you feel is the hardest part about getting published?
Well, my experience was I really was in love with what I was writing. I've written two books, as I mentioned, Before We Say Goodnight being the other. And I thought that I wrote it, it would just immediately happen all on its own. And finding an agent, I didn't find anybody that I liked. I did find a publishing company that is sort of one of these, you pay them some and they will promote your book. I had already self-published the book, and then they liked it. As a matter of fact, an agent told me it was the best-looking self-published book he'd ever seen. He asked me, who printed this? Who made it? And I said, I did. And he said, no, I mean, who put it together? I said, I did. And he said, I've never seen a book like this. So that was a nice compliment. But I didn't realize that you really needed a platform, meaning an audience of, say, 15,000 people, in order to have an audience and be able to promote yourself to an agent so they would know there were ready buyers. So I kind of went back to the basics, and I started writing a post each week. And we're at about 5,000 readers, and our aim is to get to 15,000. Our real aim is to get to 100,000. And so I would say making sure you have an audience, because it really is a business, the business of publishing and selling books, and they want to know they can succeed with you.
Well, that'll transition nicely into our next question, and that is about marketing. So please share a marketing strategy that you have used in your book launch that worked well.
Well, this is going to sound somewhat contrary, and I didn't start off doing this, but I do this all the time now. I give my book away. I have two other businesses that are both thriving and so on, but the gift of my book to the people that I engage in the business somehow seems to inform them who I am personally and who I am on a business level, and they also read my posts. And so I develop a lot of relationship with those people through the books and the my posts, which comes out on Saturdays, Saturday Morning Post. And I find that by giving the books away, a lot of business comes my way that far exceeds what I would make in selling the book. I know that's not what most readers are doing, but it certainly has worked well for me.
I actually agree with you completely. That's a strategy that I use as well for my email list. Recently, I created a second edition of one of my publishing books, book publishing for authors, and I gave that away to my list. And no, I agree completely, because it's a great way for them to stay on your list, have incentives to build that relationships. And not only that, when you are giving away the book, they're going to read it, and they're going to help to continue to build that relationship and to create I would say, an even more impactful bond with you.
Yeah, I'm a very firm believer in being of benefit to others, and it's really easy to do that in a book or in a post way. And so giving the book I refer to it as splashbacks, because you do something good, it splashes back on you. You do something bad, that does too. So this is really I can't tell you how many times it happens that something awesome happens out of my giving the book. And on our website, which I'll plug as hankfrazee.com, everything on there is free. Mm-hmm. You can't buy anything on there. As a matter of fact, if you want a book, we send it to you for free. No mailing costs, no nothing. So I just like doing that. And my real aim, I guess my business aim in that, is to continue to build my audience. They really enjoy what I'm doing, and I enjoy that they enjoy it. So I like the direction we're going in.
Yeah, I agree. On my website, I've also got a free book on there. We have a web class that we broadcast every week that's free. I mean, you really have to give that value. With the podcast as well, we offer that. We have a free Facebook group. I mean, that's the best way to build a relationship. Not only that, you're going to get so many more people that are going to opt into those opportunities because you're giving it away, versus if you're charging something, you won't get nearly the amount of people that will opt in.
Yeah, and I'm not against charging for things, but I agree with what you're saying. But, some websites you go on and they're just hammering you to buy stuff and mm-hmm. take you to the next level and all the rest of this stuff. You really, I guess if you really search for something that you could buy from us, if you want me to fly somewhere to give a speech, I do have to cover the expenses. But besides that, it's all free stuff.
Well, let's talk about your favorite book. So what is your favorite book? And what was the number one thing that you learned from it?
Well, it's going to be an odd title, but when you stop and think that this book has been in print for, I think, 100, I might be wrong on this, I think it's 102 years. My son is a senior in college, and he recently reminded me of it. I've read it several times. And I read it again. I thought, man, this book is as applicable today as it was the day it was written. And you could truly read this book every year and learn stuff from it. It's How to Win Friends and Influence People. It just is so right on in how to relate to others in a way that they will want to engage with you. So that's the one I would name.
Well, I'm actually looking at that book right now in my library, Dale Carnegie. It's one of my favorite books.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, Hank, for a final question, what is your favorite quote and why?
It's a funny question, because my favorite quote comes from Lee Iacocca, who was the guy that made the Mustang popular in Ford and then went on to run Chrysler, of course. And his quotation is, I slightly modified it. So my modification is, we are often presented with great opportunities brilliantly disguised as unsolvable problems.
Nice.
I like a puzzle, and I like figuring things out and thinking things up and overcoming a challenge, because the plain fact is, just about anything you want to do, somebody else has done it, so there is a way to do it. It's just a matter of sticking with it and figuring it out. And obviously mentoring with other people and all of that. I think I just find that to be so satisfying in business and also in writing.
Absolutely. Well, Hank, I want to thank you for being a guest on the show. What is the best way for people to find you online?
Hank, the email address, I keep thinking the email address. My email address is hank@hankfrazee.com, which is Frazee. The website is hankfrazee.com. And if they want to sign up for our posts, we never sell anything. We never bombard you. If you want off, we take you off. So that comes out once a week on Saturdays. You can sign up on the website, or you can text the word Saturday to 22828.
Well, Hank, I want to thank you once again for being on the show, and I wish you all the best in your author journey ahead.
Thanks so much, Paul. I really enjoyed it.
Thanks again for joining us today. To learn more about how you can be featured in our brand new Get Published business book, go to getpublishedpodcast.com. bestsellingauthorshow.com.